All right, welcome back, everybody, to Sports Line as we take you through this December 20th. By the way, happy holidays to everybody. Our final Sports Line show of 2017. Our producer, Taylor Prey, just informed me of that earlier today. So we wish you all Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and, of course, a Happy New Year. Looking for bigger and better things in 2018. All right, we're switching to college football right now because today was actually signing day. But for the first time, it's what's called early signing day. Not sure what that is? Neither am I. That's why we bring in our good friend Barton Simmons, Director of Scouting for 247sports.com. This guy is all over it when it comes to recruiting for college football. Barton, how are you today? I know it's been a busy day for you. Appreciate a few minutes.
Of course. Yeah, happy to do it.
Man, it's great to have you on, man. All right, for those of us that don't know, or for those that may not know, what exactly is early signing day? These are actually a chance for college football programs to get early binding commitments from players ahead of the normal signing day in February, right?
Right. Typically, there's one signing period, which begins the first Wednesday in February, and that's when pretty much everybody ends their recruiting process, unless you're enrolling early. And so this year, for the first time, the NCAA passed a rule that started an early signing period. It's a 72-hour period starting today, ending Friday, and kids have the option of signing in this period. But what we found is that when these guys are committed, they're basically expected to sign. And so a bunch of guys signed. This is basically sort of where we found out what the meat of this 2018 recruiting cycle is going to look like as far as where they went to school and what those signing classes were going to end up looking like. And so it's been a telling day. It's been a busy day, and we've kind of got a sense on where the best talent in the country is heading.
Now, for the coaches that are established and have been around for a while, this has got to be a big advantage for them. Gives them a nice early look, as you said, as to what their recruiting class is going to be like, and then try to, finish it up in February. But for a guy like Jeromy Pruitt, who just got the job at Tennessee, 5 minutes ago, and he's still committed to coaching Alabama in the college football playoff, he hasn't had a lot of time to put this together. What's coaches like where Jeromy Pruitt is, having just gotten a job just a couple of weeks ago, that's got to be a bit of a disadvantage, no?
Yeah, very much so, and much more so than ever before because of this early signing period. Because where typically if you get a job in early or mid-December or even late November, you've got a runway to build up to February, and you can build relationships. You can work on kids that are committed elsewhere and try to get them to take an official visit to your program, and hey, you may not flip them by week 1, but by week 8 of that sort of courting process, you got a pretty good shot at getting them. But with this new cycle and this new rule, with all these new hires, very limited time to operate there. And Jeromy Pruitt's one of those guys, and honestly, Jeromy Pruitt did a better job than most. He actually had a pretty productive day today. They landed 2 kids out of the state of Tennessee. Jerome Carvin, a big-time offensive tackle that Mississippi State looked like they were going to get. Also got his teammate, a big physical running back named Jeremy Banks, who's kind of fits the mold of what Jeromy Pruitt wants his offense to look like. And they also managed to steal one from Alabama too. This kid Dominic Wood Anderson, who was the top junior college tight end in the country, he was projected by a lot of people to end up at Alabama, and Jeromy Pruitt went and stole him. So
wow,
that was a big get late in the day there. So I really think, as far as new coaches go, Jeromy Pruitt had one of the more productive Wednesdays in the start of this early signing period.
Well, obviously, Jeromy Pruitt is known as being one of the best recruiters in the nation, so I guess that should come as no surprise. But, man, he is a busy guy these days. All right, how about Vandy? I have written down here 16 signings for the Commodores.
Yeah, not necessarily a bunch of guys that they were trying to get to commit today. This was more about securing the class that was already in place, and this is really probably Derek Mace's best effort on the recruiting trail.
He needs this, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he does, just to kind of continue to build the momentum and I think in a lot of ways make sure that this state knows that Vanderbilt's going to be a presence here, and that's kind of what they did. They got a couple kids from Brentwood Academy and Cameron Johnston and Gavin Schoenwald, who were both really talented players on that state championship team, had SEC offers and chose Vanderbilt. They got a kid out of Texas named Austin Orgy, who is really was one of the more highly recruited kids out of that state. So I think really across the board, this is a really sound class for Vanderbilt. I think they're ranked 31st at last check, which is, again, I think that's Derek Mason's best effort.
Yeah. For Vandy, anything in the top 30 is certainly good. We're talking with Barton Simmons. He's the director of scouting for 247sports.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Barton Simmons. All right, Barton, curious to know, who do you think did the best today in the early signing period out of the SEC and overall in the rest of the country?
Well, Georgia. I mean, and it's honestly, it's not close. The day keeps on going for Georgia. Tonight, Georgia already during the day, they landed a 5-star offensive guard, the number 1 offensive guard in the country, named Jeromy Pruitt. They landed the number 2 offensive tackle in the country, 5-star too, named Cade Mays, who many people thought was going to end up at Tennessee at one point. He's a legacy out of Knoxville, so a big get there. And then they landed the number, 5-star defensive end, and a kid named Brenton Cox. So pretty good haul there. You think they're done, and they get to the late afternoon, early evening. They flip a 4-star kid that was committed to Alabama named Nadab Joseph, flip him to Georgia. He signs, and now just about 30 minutes ago or so, they landed another kid out of South Carolina who's right in South Carolina's backyard, a 5-star level type of kid named Channing Tindall. So Georgia's now the number 1 class in the country. They went into today the number 3 class in the country. All of a sudden, it looks like they've got the inside track to finish in February with the best class. So Kirby Smart, I'm telling you, that guy has wasted no time. He is, he's winning on the field, and man, he's given Nick Saban the best run for his money he's gotten in almost a decade on the recruiting trail as well.
Wow, incredible. Barton, I'm curious to know what the day's been like for you. Obviously, you're used to, the weeks leading up to regular National Signing Day. Now you have this early signing day. How much has that increased your workload on a period like this?
Sure. I mean, this has been as busy for me as National Signing Day in February. It really has. And I think part of that, honestly, is just a bunch of people trying to figure out what in the world's going on and get me on the horn and having me talk them through it. But
yeah, like me.
There you go. Oh yeah, and so it's been a busy day for me. But hey, we like it like that. It's a good day for the industry. Honestly, it's because hey, we're getting 2 signing days instead of 1, so we'll take it.
No question. Barton, get your plugs in. How can people keep up with you? Because there's so many people in this area that love to keep up with high school recruiting.
Yeah. So come check us out at 247 Sports, and whatever college team you follow, I guarantee you we've got a great message board community with all the inside information for them. Get a subscription. If you're interested in college football, check out the podcast as well, 247 Sports College Football Podcast. And then you can find us on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else. So lots to recap and lots to gear up for the next signing day as well in February.
Oh man, that's great stuff. We hope to have you on again as we get closer to the next signing day.
Yeah, you got it. We'll be ready. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, Barton. Thanks so much. Happy holidays, my man.
Okay, you too, brother. See you.
All right, that's Barton Simmons, and you definitely want to check him out on his various platforms. If you're into college recruiting, and I know a lot of you are, he is the guy to go to. He is the source for high school recruiting. All right, we're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to talk more about the Titans and what they have to do to beat the Rams and get into the playoffs, plus your phone calls. And I also want to know from you, what is your Nashville sports Christmas wish list? It's our final show before Christmas. I want to hear from you. Give us a call or tweet me at NC5_Jon Burton. We're back after this.